The Tale of the Edge Finder's Lamp, as told by the wandering storyteller Hakim Ibn Rashid on the seventh night of Ramadan in the bazaar of Damascus. Listen well, O seekers of wisdom, to the tale of Omar the Wayfinder, whose story echoes through the chambers of time like the tinkling of silver bells in a desert wind. The scholar's son. In the great trading city of Samarkand, there lived a scholar's son named Omar. Unlike other young men who trained with swords or studied ancient texts, Omar would sit in his father's library, watching the endless parade of scholars, inventors, and mystics who brought strange new ideas and methods from distant lands. "Father," he would ask, "why do some seekers discover profound truths, while others wander in circles, though they read the same books?" His father, wise in the ways of knowledge, would stroke his beard and reply, "My son, it is not enough to have many scrolls. One must know which wisdom to follow and when to forge new paths through understanding." But Omar sensed there was more to this riddle than his father knew. The discovery. One day, while exploring the dusty recesses of an abandoned scriptorium, Omar discovered an unusual lamp, not of brass or silver, but of a strange material that seemed to shift color like oil on water. When he rubbed away the dust, no great jinni appeared in a cloud of smoke. Instead, a gentle voice spoke from within. "I am not a jinni of wishes granted, but a jinni of edges found. I cannot give you gold or power, but I can teach you to find your place where the rivers of possibility converge." "What do you mean?" asked Omar. "Young seeker, the world is like a great tree, all things branching from all other things, patterns repeating at every scale, and this tree grows constantly, creating new branches where none existed before. Those who prosper know how to read these patterns and position themselves where new growth emerges." The first teaching, the law of the edge. The jinni's first lesson came in the form of a vision. Omar found himself standing in a vast desert where the sands constantly shifted, creating valleys and hills that appeared and vanished like dreams. "Observe," said the jinni. "See how some travelers struggle through the deep sand with old, heavy tools, and see how others seem to glide effortlessly with strange new inventions, shoes that float, staffs that find water, cloaks that shield them from any storm." Omar watched in wonder as those with the newer tools moved 10 times faster, reaching oases while others still struggled in the dunes. "This is the law of the edge," the jinni continued. "In times of change, those who cling to old methods pay an invisible tax, the tax of friction, of waste, of being structurally unable to compete. But those who sense which new tools are truly powerful gain wings." "But how do I know which tools are truly powerful and which are mere illusions?" Omar asked. "Ah," smiled the jinni, "that requires the second teaching." The second teaching, finding your true north. The scene shifted, and Omar found himself in a bazaar unlike any other. A bazaar of the soul, where instead of silks and spices, people traded talents, dreams, and unique gifts. "Every person," said the jinni, "carries within them a special edge, something they can do or see or create that no other can duplicate in quite the same way. But many never discover this edge, or if they do, they try to fit it into molds made by others." Omar watched as some traders tried to sell gifts that weren't truly theirs, struggling and failing. Others, however, stood confidently behind displays of their authentic offerings, and customers came to them like moths to flame. "Your edge is not just what you're skilled at," the jinni explained. "It's the unique intersection of your talents, your perspective, your experiences, and your deepest curiosity. It's the song only you can sing to the universe." "But how do I find this edge?" Omar asked, feeling suddenly small in the vast bazaar. "Through the third teaching, the art of listening to your inner compass." The third teaching, The grounding strike. The Jinni led Omar to a quiet courtyard with a fountain at its center. "Sit," it said. "Now, place your feet firmly on the ground and close your eyes. When confusion clouds your mind, when you cannot see your path clearly, remember this simple magic." The Jinni taught him the ancient art of the grounding strike, to stamp his foot once, firmly, while saying "now" in his heart. "This is not mere gesture," the Jinni explained. "It is a conversation with the earth itself, a way to remember that you belong here, that you have a place in the grand tapestry. Your ancestors used this same movement when they needed to call forth their power, in dance, in ritual, in moments of decision." Omar tried it and immediately felt something shift inside him, a clarity, a readiness, a sense of being exactly where he belonged. "Good," said the Jinni. "Now you understand the foundation. But knowing these teachings is like having a map without knowing how to read the stars. You must learn to navigate the great currents." The fourth teaching, reading the waves. The final vision took Omar to a vast ocean where waves of light rolled endlessly toward a shore. Some waves were small and gentle, others towering and powerful. On the shore stood figures with various tools, some trying to fight the waves, others riding them with perfect grace. "The world flows in patterns," said the Jinni. "Technologies rise and fall like these waves. Markets shift like tides. Opportunities emerge and vanish like foam. Those who prosper learn to read these patterns, to sense which waves are building, where they will break, and which ones they are uniquely suited to ride." Omar watched as the most successful wave riders seemed to know intuitively which waves to catch. They possessed what the Jinni called edge sensing, the ability to feel in their bones when something new was about to transform everything. "But remember," the Jinni cautioned, "it's not about catching every wave. It's about finding the confluence, where your edge meets the technological edge meets the wave of demand. That intersection is where magic happens." The return. When the visions ended, Omar found himself back in the scriptorium, the lamp cool in his hands. But now he saw the world differently. The chaos of the scholarly debates had become a garden of patterns. The river of ideas and innovations had become a map of emerging possibilities. The scholars rise. Over the following years, Omar became the most respected advisor in all of Samarkand. But his success puzzled others, for he didn't simply memorize ancient wisdom or copy successful methods. Instead, he seemed to possess an uncanny ability to sense which new ideas and approaches would become essential, understand exactly where his unique talents created the most value, position himself at the intersection of emerging opportunities, maintain a centered clarity even in the midst of rapid change. When other scholars asked his secret, he would simply smile and say, "I learned to read the cosmic currents." The legacy. In time, Omar established a school for young seekers, teaching them not just the mechanics of scholarship, but the deeper arts the Jinni had revealed. The art of edge sensing, how to recognize when ideas cross from experimental to essential. The art of self-knowledge, how to discover and develop one's unique edge. The art of pattern reading, how to see the fractal structures underlying all change. The art of strategic positioning, how to find the intersection where your edge creates maximum value. The art of centered action, how to maintain clarity and confidence while navigating uncertainty. And to each student he gave a simple practice. When confused or overwhelmed, stamp your foot, say "now" in your heart, and remember, you belong here, you have an edge, and there is a wave meant for you. The wisdom preserved. The Jinni's lamp was passed down through generations, not as a source of magical wishes, but as a reminder of deeper truths. that all of existence follows fractal patterns, with platforms of stability giving rise to new layers of possibility. That success comes not from fighting change, but from learning to read its rhythms and ride its waves. That each person carries a unique edge, and finding it is both the greatest challenge and the greatest gift of life. That in times of rapid transformation, staying centered while remaining fluid is the highest skill, and that sometimes the most profound wisdom can be accessed in a single grounded moment. One stamp of the foot, one declaration of presence, one word, now. And so the tale is told, O listeners, that you too might find your lamp, discover your edge, and ride the waves that are meant for you. For in this age of endless change, those who remember these teachings shall thrive like gardens in the spring rain. May your footing be sure, your vision clear, and your path illuminated by the light of your own authentic star. And when uncertainty clouds your way, remember young Omar's lesson. Stamp your foot, center your spirit, and trust that you belong exactly where you are.